So I wanted to make a video about how you can craft like mid-tier gear for your KB Deadeye. Gloves like this, ones like this. If, you can make a cheaper one with multi-mode. Boots with the Abyss Jewel. I will do that for myself later. I still haven't gotten to this. A chest like this, and the rest of the gear like the shield, the ring you can buy or make with a tree. This kind of gear where you have like res and life, it's easier to make it with a tree or get a fracture and just spam for it. So this is not really nothing special here, if I can say so. So I'm gonna start with the gloves. What you wanna do is get this mode or the shocked or damage against shocked enemies. So it's like what, 40C, 80C, 100C, right? So half a divine, even less than half a divine. And buy a pair of Phantom Meats 85. I'm saying 85 because you may not want attack speed on the suffix, maybe you want suppress, even though I recommend attack speed. You don't need a mod. I wanted to showcase that if you want to buy the mod on the right gloves, pair of gloves, it's gonna cost 3, 4, 5 divines, which is not worth. It's a scam. If you want to buy just the base, it's 1C. Okay, this is you don't want shaper or any influence. It's gonna be like 5C for the base. Anyways, you're gonna buy. You want to most likely to get like 2 suffixes at most, because what you want to do after buying the base, you want to use a split beast, which is like 25C, to get 1 suffix, to get the damage against shield or shocked enemies to be the only suffix on your glove. After you split the base, it's gonna look something like this, but it's gonna be probably rare, doesn't matter. 1 prefix, 1 suffix. This is the most likely outcome. Or 2 prefixes, 1 suffix if you have 5 modes. It doesn't matter. You're gonna get your Phantom Meats and recomb them with your base that has this mod as a singular suffix, and it's a 1 in 3 to move the mod to your desired base. So 3 splits, 3 bases. Let's say the base is 100C, split is 25C, so it's 375 Chaos Orbs, which is under 2 divines, compared to these gloves, which are 3, 4, 5 divines, right? So it's way cheaper. After that, you want to fracture, but I recommend to get 3 prefixes and this mode to be the only suffix. And I'm gonna talk about it why. To do that, you're gonna use Eldritch Exalts. So if Searing XRT is dominant, add a prefix modifier. You're gonna use a lesser Eldritch and slam 3 times, or Earth 2 times actually. After you get 3 prefixes and this the only suffix, you're gonna fracture. So it's a 1 in 4 using a fracturing orb. Let's say you miss. What you're gonna do after you miss is buy another pair of Phantom Meats and use a non-native mod. So this being an evasion energy shield base, it cannot roll strength, but you can force strength with an essence. You want to use the essence on the base, on the second base, the one without the mod, and annul until it's the only suffix. The prefixes don't matter, but this should be the only suffix. After that, you're gonna recombinate them. If you recombinate the mod, damage against shield enemies, with the other pair that has strength, the strength cannot transfer, or it either cannot transfer or the chance is abysmal. I'm not really sure if it can transfer at all, but at least the chance is abysmal, and most likely you're not gonna lose your mod. So after that, you're gonna just pray that you hit the right base. If you hit the wrong base, so if you keep the bricked fracture base, you're gonna have to do that whole process again. So you're gonna get another base, you're gonna get the strength to be the only suffix, and recombinate them again. I crafted like this type of gloves like 10 times, and I lost my temple mod once in the recombination because I lost all the suffixes. That's a very rare outcome. So this is how you can keep your desired mod, like a beast socket, like temple mod, like rarity on increased rarity against rare or unique monsters from helmets. Then you're gonna do this again and again until you fracture the damage against shield or shocked enemies. Now your base will look something like this, with this fractured, right? What you are going to do is get a hollow hollow fossil. So after getting your mod fractured, you wanna get a hollow essence, and you wanna roll for attack speed. You have two ways of doing it. You either use the hollow essence with corroded, deft, and shattering, but this is not that cheap because hollow is already like 1 divine, and the 4 socket resonator is already like 1 divine, so it's 2 divine per try. This is 6 tries, so like 12 divines. The other way is get a hollow one, craft suffixes cannot be changed, so you're gonna use a hollow, pray that you don't fill your suffixes. If you fill the suffixes, you have to annul 50-50. Use suffixes cannot be changed, and roll speed. This is 3 divines per try, right? Considering you don't brick. And the only mod you can get is attack speed. You can roll for whatever tier you want. I recommend at least tier 2, obviously. Or do this and roll it until you get T3, T2. After that, your suffixes are done. So you're gonna roll for prefixes. What you're gonna do to roll for prefixes is apply a greater. Actually, you don't need to apply anything. I'm stupid on that. You just use Chaos Orbs, Eldritch Chaos Orbs to reroll and use normal exalts because your suffixes are full. So you're gonna roll and exalt slam until you get the desired mods. I'll recommend trying to get life and maybe a flat or a hybrid mod. So evasion and energy shield, evasion, energy shield, life, stuff like that. I'll recommend, I don't think the flat is that important, because if you have 2 desired mods on your prefixes, you can always craft lightning damage this mod, which is not that far off the actual mod from the gloves. You can always craft it, it's good. So get rarity, get life, get evasion, get anything you want on your budget. After that, the gloves are done. The boots, same stuff. You wanna get hollow essence, hollow fossil, fracture it, and do that over and over again until you hit it. If you miss it, you do the recomp stuff again, just not like on the gloves, to keep the hollow mod. It's still a suffix, so you can still use strength. It's the same process as the gloves. Do it again and again and again until you hit it. The movement speed, you can get by reforging speed. The resistances, you can essence spam for them. Depends on what modes do you want. Do you want life? Do you want movement speed? Do you want resistance? I suggest that you spam essences for res, so you get 2 of your desired res, and then of 1 of your desired res, my bad. And then on your prefixes, use Eldritch Chaos Orbs for life and movement speed. I suggest you to craft this and have because it's cheaper. You can always use an June Exalt, but that's expensive. So you wanna go as cheap as possible. I mean, the craft is already a bit expensive, but I don't think that this is worth, right? Like, come on, this is insane. Like 7.5. This is not worth for the gloves, for the boots. So it's better to craft the avoid mod and get your exceptional avoid on your implicits. It's almost the same process. So fracture, if you miss, use a recombinator. After that, craft the res with an essence, the prefixes with Eldritch currency, and move on. You can get a rarity helmet the same way. It's literally the same process. As I said, for the shield and the ring, I recommend just buying them is cheaper, or using the bridge tree to get that. So rolling for your shield, you should get less chance for strength and dexterity and more chance for intelligence. You should get your shield, increased chance. I will recommend you to get life, because I mean life feels really good on this, right? I'm not going for block. I'm not ever gonna get block capped. If I wanna get something with block, I'm gonna get a Svalin. There's no point, in my opinion. So you go for life or you go for resistances. Depends on you. Depends on what would you like. So life or resistances here, right? For this you go caster, because spell damage is a caster modifier. You can block mana. Mana is quite common. You can block attribute as well. That's a common modifier as well, but it's quite nice too if you get it. So there's that. I will block mana. I'm out of points. I can do 1 gamble as a showcase. I got some shield. So I got this. Doesn't have the mod I want, so it's trash. Start some gloves, boots. But we're gonna do this until you hit a shield. For the rings, I don't know. The rings are quite gambling. It's just gambling. You get res and life here. You get reduced mana, and that's it. You just get reduced mana because you want attack modifiers, and you don't reduce that. It's up to you, but the gambling part is about the base. You're not gonna get your desired base, and I will just advise to buy it or buy a fracture base and chaos spam. I think it's just cheaper to buy. This is expensive, okay, but it's cheaper in general to buy it. For the body armor, you have 2 options. You can get a fracture prefix, the flat or the percent one. You can get T1. They're quite cheap. Okay, that was the issue here. So it's 1 divine, 42. Okay, it's 2 divines. Or you can try and buy a base, like any base, body armor, right? With suppress. My bad. It's 20C. You buy this base. Not really, actually. I wanted to make the same point as the gloves, right? It's 25C. You split it, so you have one suffix, one prefix. You get 3 prefixes. Then you get a necrotic body armor with strength as your only suffix. You recomb. You're gonna move the suffix on the necrotic body armor then. And try and fracture. If you miss, you do the recombinator part from that I explained on the gloves, and you do that until you fracture suppress. I personally prefer suppress because it's way easier on your tree. If you don't get suppress, if you don't craft suppress on your suffixes, that's the %, you're gonna need a lot of suppress on tattoos, and suppress tattoos are very, very expensive. Imagine getting like 7 suppress tattoos for capping your suppress, so it can be element immune, right? Suppress tattoos. There are 1.8 divine, something like that, per. It's quite expensive. After getting your suppress fracture, you can do something cheaper but takes way longer. Reforge defense. Or you can use dense fossils. They're 11C each. They went down a bit. And I would aim for 3k evasion and 600 ES. You're probably gonna spend like 2 divines or some, or 3 divines. Maybe you get lucky, you spend less. After you get your suppress, fracture, and prefixes done, you can reforge attribute, and it's a 1 in 2 to hit int, and then you have to hit a good roll. So it's a 1 in 2 here, and then you have to hit at least T2 to feel comfortable. T5 is a brick, most likely, because you need to craft it. I will recommend 40 plus int because the build is really int-starved in this part of the game. Then you can have one last suffix and craft. Or you could go just with Eldritch Chaos Orbs. Spam Eldritch Chaos Orbs until you get intelligence. And that's how you craft the chest. For the wand, you could do 2 things. You could get a fracture base, or try and fracture it yourself with flat lightning damage or spell damage. The spell damage is an essence, so you could use essence and fracture until you hit it. After that, use deafening essence of hatred. It's 3C to try until you get lightning damage. I'm saying you should use the lightning one because it went down, so you can use any of them, it doesn't matter. Before, the rat was way more expensive and it was not worth. So you're gonna spam one of the essences. For the other mod, you can spam light flat for cold flat, yes, or cold flat for light flat. When you are done with your prefixes, you want to have at least one suffix free, so you can craft prefixes, cannot be changed, and reforge crit. I'm saying to reforge crit because you can get crit multi or crit chance. If you get crit multi, you craft crit chance. If you get crit chance, you craft crit multi. After you've after you hit crit multi or crit chance, you June Exalt. First thing is you craft multiple, can have up to 3 crafted modifiers, and prefixes cannot be changed. And it's also 1 in 3 to save the create multi. Let's say you hit create multi. Then you will craft increased damage per endurance charge to block multiple mods. So if we go to veil mods, you can see these are the same. This blocks these two as well. So you block 3 mods. Here you can use this as well. Chaos damage over time multiplier. And unveil. You want to unveil increase attack speed with the attributes, and then craft crit chance. The cheaper method is get your prefixes done just as before, then have multi-mod with attack speed and with crit chance. Right? And you're done. That's cheaper. Way cheaper, because you don't have to use the June Exalt. So these are the crafts, and I hope I was helpful.